Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause of the pastor as we get close to the end of the year. Sometimes do you notice with your computer that it just kind of goes kaflooey? There's no reason. It just happens. All of a sudden things aren't working. Maybe it's waiting for an update. Sometimes that happens. Kind of goes wonky, and then you realize, it needs to update something. But lots of times, maybe it's because I do so much with it and I keep it so, the RAM, the temporary storage memory, I keep it so full that it can't really operate. And the best thing that you can do is reboot. How many times have you had somebody, did you try turning it off? Turn it off, turn it back on, see if that helps. Or the same thing can happen with your smartphone. And that's why you should turn it off every once in a while, so that it can reboot, it can reset itself. Well, that's what I'm here to suggest that we do as we approach this new year. We need to reset, we need to reboot, so that we can be realigned when we start, so that when we power up for the new year, the operating system will be in order. And evidently, I'm not the only one who thought that. Let me come over to here. Our friends over at Daily Word from Unity, they were saying kind of the same thing, but not in that language, of course, because I'm just a little odd. But the thought for a couple days ago on the 28th was to release. I release the old and embrace the new. That's what happens when we reboot the computer or the router or whatever the piece of equipment is. So I want to share this with you and just want you to think about it in terms of your spiritual life or your mental state right now, because many of us really enjoyed having a couple of days of breathing room around the holiday, and if we're ministers, a couple days after the holiday. But we find now that things are gearing up and it's getting all cluttered again. And so this idea of releasing or rebooting, I think, might be helpful. Listen to what they have to say. As I think of new beginnings, challenges I'd like to take on. Are you thinking of challenges you want to take on? Maybe. Maybe you're just thinking, glad I made it through what I did. But anyway. Or fresh endeavors I wish to try. That's good for a new year. I remember that releasing the old makes way for the new. How cool is that? I may feel called to clear out my physical space. Oh dear. Let's not talk about my cellar. If something I own has outlasted its utility, releasing it puts it back in circulation and gives me ample space to welcome the new. In other words, clear out your stuff and take it over to Goodwill, right? Sometimes a spiritual house cleaning is in order. I release thoughts, beliefs, and actions that no longer serve me. I open a space within my mind for new understanding, and in my heart for divine inspiration. Spiritual house cleaning. Releasing those thoughts and actions and beliefs that no longer serve me. With a fresh outlook, I am able to discern my spiritual guidance. Yeah, if it's like the computer, if it's all clogged up and the memory is being used and it's running all these operations that we don't really need anymore, it can't put the messages through. It buffers. That's what happens when you get that little circulating clock in the middle. Oh boy, it's buffering because there's not a clear line. You got too much other stuff going in the background. With fresh outlook, I'm able to discern my spiritual guidance. Releasing the past is the first step toward creating the perfect future. Quote comes from Matthew 18:18. Truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. I have to admit, I'd never thought of that verse going along with this kind of a message before, but I like it. Whatever I'm going to hold on to is going to get in my way. Whatever I'm going to set free, God will use that as an opportunity to get the Spirit through to me. So, what are you going to let go of? And don't tell me, oh, I'm not spiritual. Anything you do in your physical space will affect you spiritually as well. If your physical space is cluttered, your spiritual space is going to be cluttered. And the opposite is true. So what are you going to do to reboot yourself? Maybe it's to go offline. I know we'll miss you here, but you can always catch us later and go back and watch the episodes you missed. Maybe you need to unplug. Do a real reboot of your life. Unplug for a couple of days. Maybe do a little mini retreat between now and the new year. Can't hurt, right? Don't watch the news for 3 days or 2 days or even one. Settle down with a good book. Go for a long walk. Be mindful of the fact that this is a new beginning and you want to get realigned. You just want to take those blurry things and bring them right into sync with the Spirit. Realigned. Rebooting. Unplugging. Whatever you have to do to get ready for the new year. This is your moment. Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause of the pastor. Time to think of something greater than ourselves. I'm Pastor Deb Swift of South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York. Getting close to the new year. Go reboot. Find a way to start fresh and new. Until next time, God bless. You take care. And bye for now.